5 meeting. And, to address a couple follow-up issues, from the May 28th meeting, there was some concerns about the timeliness of the bus stop near the Market Trace area. And just wanted to let you know, we, staff adjusted the bus stop, to receive routine service, so.
She should be thrilled.
Yeah, and then also, I think there was some questions about, citizens regarding the smell of natural gas. You know, was there a smell of natural gas on the large buses? And we thought, well, you know, we haven't heard of any, so we thought we'd take a sneak peek into the, survey that the MPO is doing for us. And there were two comments that were even anywhere related to that. One of them, was, big buses are good, and the other one was, would like to see, two more big buses for other routes. That's the comments that we received anywhere related to that. Aside from that, I'd just like to welcome back, Commissioner, Azab, and, I don't know if I got a chance to welcome you at the last meeting, and then also welcome our newest commissioner, Commissioner Bixby. So, welcome.
Public service.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions related to the meeting minutes of May 28th.
I thought they looked fine. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve minutes as
And a second?
second.
And I think, Lori, you're gonna do the roll call.
Roll call, AMG,
Here.
Melissa Goodall,
Yes.
Melissa Bixby,
Here.
Joanne Nelson,
Yes.
and Marion.
Here.
All approved.
That brings us to the, we've got some requests for the transit assistance program. The first one we wanted to talk about is a request by the Ronald McDonald House. Do we have somebody from Ronald McDonald here today?
I believe that, Miss Laura Van Hook, indicated she could be here, but I'm not sure. We did change the meeting, so that might have
Yeah.
got mixed up a little bit. But, I know, this is, a request for a good cause, for the Ronald McDonald House, and I'm understanding that, there's a need there, for transportation, and, let me see what this, look through my notes here.
It seems to me, I know they're a great cause, but it seems to me, I can't imagine how they would use the tickets, because the closest stop to Ronald McDonald House is Mercy Hospital. It's a 5-minute walk from, according to Google, a 5-minute walk from Ronald McDonald to Mercy, and the closest bus stop is at Mercy. So I can't imagine how the bus tickets would help. I was hoping somebody from Ronald McDonald might be here to
Answer that.
explain, because, I mean, they're a terrific organization, but I want the bus tickets to go to things that the bus is meeting the need.
It seemed like they were talking about people having to walk to get to.
Yeah, they were talking about walking to the neo ICU.
Yeah, but from their own, somewhere else.
And
That was my assumption.
Okay,
I
thought
was
they were walking
wrong
from
on
Ronald
the
McDonald.
name is actually Delana Vaughn, I apologize for that, I was looking at another document, but Delana Vaughn was the person that, I guess presented the request.
Yeah.
And Greg, did you have any more on that, or any more information from that?
No, I don't have any more to make on
Okay.
the house, but
I wasn't sure if you had been in contact with them. or
Well,
not, but-
I feel like the best thing to do on that would be to wait on this, and if they want to at our next meeting, send a rep who maybe can answer our questions, reconsider it then, maybe table that, might be a good motion. What do y'all think?
Yes. Is it possible to add stops? Like, can we add stops, like right in front of the house or something?
So I'm not quite sure which house or where the house is located, because I thought they had a house on the property of Mercy.
Yeah, it's like right on Mercy, like nearly touches.
So the
5
bus
minutes.
stop is right there in front, so I don't know about the 5-minute walk, depends on who you are.
Yeah, that was at the most, from the
Right.
farthest of,
So I do know that people stay there and they stay there for, some kind of period of time. And so it could be that they might need rides to go to the grocery have family coming in from out of town, and sometimes they help the family get there, so I don't think everybody's coming with transportation. And so they live in there while they're doing whatever they're doing, and so that's why I'm assuming, because I've dealt with some
Cause in
of
the
them.
packet, it was just mentioning people having to walk so
Right.
far to get to the infant ICU.
Yeah, I don't know about that part, but I do know there's people that live there. We had to help
Yeah.
a family before with transportation to like groceries and stuff before.
Okay.
That was living in their house, so
Okay.
that's all I know from previous, experience.
Well, if we knew it was a pressing need, but we don't even know if it's a pressing need,
Yeah.
so maybe, I mean, the only other thing that doesn't really work logically is for us to decide whether or not we'd be willing to give 25 tickets or whatever if they met the criteria that we would discuss.
I think it would be best to table it, and if they can come to us and answer some questions, then we can consider it. Not saying that we would 100% come back and we'll do it, but
Mhm.
I think we all maybe
We didn't understand.
could use
the-
more information on that.
Right,
It's not as self-explanatory as some of them are.
okay, so that's what
So,
I would
does
do.
someone want a motion to table?
A motion to table. Second.
Roll call, Melissa Woodall,
Yes.
Melissa Bixby,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes.
Miriam,
Yes.
Angie,
Yes.
5 in favor, 0 opposed.
And we'll circle back with them, make sure.
Yeah, make sure they know to come.
Proper information.
Now,
And you kind of fill me in on some of my questions.
Yeah, these next two requests, if I may, just, these are staff requests coming from us.
Okay.
We've kind of developed a partnership with this, comprehensive juvenile services in the fact that we've been able to help educate, their program on the benefits of transit. And, they've asked us to start doing that and making sure that, we're presenting how to use the system, the benefits of it, the privileges and expectations of riding transit. And we felt like, with this being a routine, event and opportunity for us going and meeting with them, that this would be a really good time to tie in, some of the, TAP program and get them acclimated to the system and, possibly have some tickets available to make that happen. And so what staff is recommending is 26 tickets as a orientation, regular type, thing, so.
I would move yes, that we do.
Sounds good to me. I'll second it.
Roll call, Joanne Elston,
Yes.
Miriam,
Yes.
Angie,
Yes.
Melissa Woodall,
Yes.
Elizabeth Bixby.
Yes.
5 in favor, 0 opposed.
And the last one is Antioch Youth and Family.
Okay, and that, again, that's a staff request. They came to us and wanted to know if we could provide another discount for, tickets. And we already have the one that's established, for bulk tickets, but there's not really anything more that we can do for someone that buys those, in our favor, quite a bit. And so we thought, well, one of the things that we could do is put them in the, TAP program. Maybe there's some instances where, that would work really well for them. So, again, this is a staff request, in hopes that we can help with their need. And so we're indicating again, requesting another 26 tickets for the purpose of the Antioch Youth Group. And, that's an orientation starting point.
So when they bought bulk tickets, how
Right.
many did they buy?
Oh my gosh, they buy them continually, so I couldn't tell you exactly what the last amount was. It's pretty significant.
Okay.
So.
And what they're saying is they're needing more?
Right, and I think they'd asked if there was any sort of a discount that we could give in addition to the discount of tickets, and so.
Well, I know they're in financial need.
And they're a really active, important charity in our
Exactly.
community. I'm definitely for getting them some. And I, in general, kind of like this idea of prioritizing ones that are already participating, that are buying tickets you know, they're already working with the transit, they're not just asking for freebies, they're,
Yeah.
you know, they're already with us, and they're already ambassadors.
And transit got some pushback a while back about, you know, not being as engaged in the food insecurity program, and so I feel like this is another way to say, hey, you know, we'll support, we're supporting the food insecurity, making sure that, the food is there and access is there to it, so.
Is there, when they buy in bulk, is there any less, accountability for the use of them? No? It's the same?
Everybody can participate in that, if you buy 35 tickets, you get 40 tickets, is how it works. You know, you could just go down and get them yourself, you know, when I rode daily, I did that a lot, because
Okay.
it didn't quite work out for me to do the monthly pass, but the 5 freebies did work out.
Yeah.
And organizations can do it, or individuals, everybody can do it. $35 gets you 40 tickets. Well,
And that,
35 tickets.
yeah, and that would
40 tickets.
provide some more options for them.
But you don't have any way of knowing what they're buying in bulk,
I mean, we could go back and research that, I just don't have that right in front of me.
right in front of you, because I was thinking, I mean, in the situation they're in, I just wish we could offer them 50, and they wouldn't be buying bulk, they would just be using those 50. But, you know, I feel like the situation that they're in is critical and what's that, oh my goodness, this is an important part of
It
our
is,
community.
and getting there is a big challenge for a lot of clientele.
Yeah, they, I've been there,
Yeah,
they walk, they
exactly,
get
yeah.
people to bring them, they can't come because somebody can't bring them.
And you have to, you know, the bus, you can't necessarily walk, because you've got to, get your groceries home, you know, you've got a food you need to get home with.
Yeah.
So the bus is gonna be a whole lot better than walking. What do we think about piloting with what the staff recommends and reassessing? See how that's going, check back in with them, you know, next year and see how that's going. And what do we think about that? Cause I mean, I'm into it and would possibly be doing more, but I think the staff probably has the finger on the pulse of where we start. Somebody want a motion for 26 tickets?
I will.
I'll second it.
Is that,
And I will circle back with the commission, at the next, you know, as follow-up, 20 minutes, at the next meeting of how many tickets they acquire.
See how that's going. All right, that's got all of our tap folks now.
Need a roll call.
No, I guess we do.
Roll call. Marion,
yes.
Angie,
Yes.
Melissa Woodall,
Yes.
Melissa Bixby,
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
5 in favor, 0 opposed.
And now, the access road project?
Okay, yeah. So we had a meeting, I think the time we prepared the packet, we had one, to be held on August 26th. We actually had that meeting with the, city attorney, several staff members and several people from FTA, regarding the access road. And the subject there was whether or not FTA would fund the runaround track that is necessary to mitigate safety concerns with free rolling of rail cars, in the proximity of the access road that we're wanting to build. And they were seemingly very positive about it. They indicated they would be getting back with us. We haven't heard that yet, anything back from them. It was more of an information gathering on their behalf, and we answered their questions. They did, ask us to go ahead and, extend our categorical exclusion application, to include the rail, and then, also asked us to, upload any construction documents that we already have, and any, updated costs that, might be associated with it. So that is a very good sign that, they're interested in moving forward with it. We're really close to, we're putting the policy touches on the revised categorical exclusion application. And so we should have some of that uploaded into the grant application here soon. So we're hoping once we get that done, we'll get more feedback from FTA. But it was a very positive meeting. There were FTA attorneys and engineers and quite a few people on the call, so I do think it was a very good opportunity for us to let them know our situation and what we're dealing with the congestion that we're facing now going in and out of the facility, the safety problems. I almost got hit last night.
I'm
So,
shocked we haven't had an accident.
it was close, but anyways, and so they're aware of the situation, and you know, they asked us some specific questions, we were able to answer those. But I think we're in good shape on that, once we get that information to them, and hopefully we'll hear more back from them, but it did sound very positive, I thought.
The CNG Slowfield got approved last night.
Yes, we're excited about that.
We got it
Board of Directors
approved, gonna move forward with
the
that.
time field project, so that's gonna do a lot of things for us. Number one is, we'll be able to, basically plug up the buses and go home, and that's gonna be nice, because our current process now, we're fueling only 25 minutes a day, per bus, and the purpose of that is, if we try to fill them up completely with the fast fuel system, as you fill that up, the pressure makes it harder and harder to fill it up, so it takes more time. You could spend as much as an hour trying to get those tanks completely full. And it's really not necessary to fill them, completely full every night, because the range on them is such that we can use them 2 to 2.5 days. But with logistics and transit, if you don't fuel every night, you'll forget to fuel another night, and there's the tow bill of $500 to move one of those things if you forget. So, it becomes quite costly, so, we've done really good with that in doing the 25 minutes a night. But that's 25 minutes per driver a night that will be saved with the CNG fast fill once they plug it up. That doesn't include the logistics of the time that it takes them to get from Savannah station, CNG station, because all the buses are coming in to be fueled at one time. The CNG station doesn't have the capacity to fill, all of those buses at one time. It does throughout the day. It can fill, 2 to 4, but the time we built the station, we didn't have 6 buses. Those came in later on, and we were planning on upgrading later on. But anyway, so, this will, allow us to shave time off the logistics of going to various places. They'll fill up every night, and then also has kind of a condensation effect. If you don't fill the tanks full, there's an opportunity for the extra space in the tanks to condensate. So, this way, it's going to fill the tanks full every night, and that way there'll be less chance for condensation, and it'll actually, delay the tune-up process, or, it'll help with the engine. So, there's a lot of benefits to that. What this entails is stanchions. There'll be like 10 stanchions that spread throughout the awning. We're spacing them out, and then, there's a priority panel that tells each bus how much fuel to fuel, and when it's full to turn it off, that kind of thing. So the priority panel measures and gauges, how to fill it, but all that's done computerized. Simply what we have to do is just plug it and go. So, the added benefit to that is what we're hoping to do is to take that time that we shaved off and possibly add it to the fixed routes earlier. So if we could start maybe 30 minutes earlier, the fixed routes, that would help a lot of people in being able to access the fixed routes and get to their jobs. So, it's using a capital project, hopefully, to boost our operations. That's what we have.
And the next one is about the fare, the new fare system that I've been on.
Right. So, as part of our goals and making sure that we're keeping up to date with the latest technology, we're looking at and put this into the budget for new software for next year. Route Match has been very effective. It's been very good to have the mapping system and all that. But that system has been sold now to 3 different vendors, so it's, and they're no longer going to be providing support for that, in the coming years. So we really need to move to a platform that, that will help us with that. And so there is, and it's a quite costly, software, but the advantage to it is FTA is now requiring us to, and I think Greg can speak more to the benefits of it, but, they're requiring us to, I've got it listed in here. Okay, it's called General Transit Feed Specification. It is basically icons that we're building into the software that shows where the stops are. And FTA is now requiring this, but what this is gonna do is now if you pull your phones out, and if you look at the map app and it shows a picture of a little bus down there, that's gonna be Fort Smith Transit when you're in Fort
And
Smith.
it's gonna be so nice, I've used that system and
Yeah,
it works great.
now if you look at it, it shows lift system, you know, which is a number, but it will actually give you, whether it's an Apple or, what the other one is, but anyways, Google or Apple, either one, should be able to give you, planning, activities by using that GTFS system program into the software. So, it's really gonna enable us to do a lot more. And, you know, having that, everyone has that map app, I know I use it all the time. And now you can use it for bus planning, as far as trips go, so that's something, and it works well with the, mapping or the fair access software that we've been talking about using, so. And we're actually working on procuring that with Jonesboro now, so there's kind of a partnership in procurement on that. So all things are moving forward, but that's the direction.
That UMO software that's being considered, I had a chance to use it in Milwaukee this summer, and I use public transit all over the country, wherever I travel, I use the public transit, and that was the first app, I've been jealous. There's nothing that was good enough that I was wildly jealous that we didn't have here. I at the hotel over breakfast, I was sending them an email, dude, this is the one we gotta get. It's really, really user friendly. It was great in both the ride planning, like that we use the Route Shout for now. And it was also really useful, the way that you paid for your fares online was really simple. I mean, I was able to, you know, do it literally over a hotel breakfast. I was able to feed it in, and they also do cash, so the unbanked are still, that system won't stop us from being able to do it with cash too. And I think in Milwaukee, it had where you could use cards that you purchased somewhere else, like we talked about before too. But it was great. Yeah, best transit app I've tried so far. I'm stoked. I hope we get that one, because it was wonderful. I mean, I was blown away by how good it worked. And it had the fare capping worked really smooth. We used it enough to hit the fare cap. It worked exactly like it was supposed to. When we rode it enough, it capped us out. Yeah, it was smooth the whole time. When I first arrived, I didn't put much on my account. I you know, put like $5 on my account, but yeah, I reloaded it and kept on charging. It was great.
How does this work with the budget, the city budget and our budget?
So we went through the budget process, we submitted our budget, and we met with administration, and we've gone through the administration portion of the budget. And I think the board is actually working at getting a first-hand look at that. I don't believe they've reviewed transit yet, but they've reviewed a number of departments.
Right.
And so hopefully, that will be something that they'll be looking forward to as well. And then we go to a review, a more a sit-down review I think it's in November. And at that point, advise us if we need to make changes. That's how the budget process works. And then in December, hopefully in December, we'll approve the budget, the board will approve the budget. And then we can move forward with those acquisitions in the following year.
But this is, the cost of this system fits into Transit's budget right now.
So the fair access system is already budgeted into this year.
Okay.
But the scheduling software system that I was speaking about, the two kind of go hand in hand, but the scheduling software system is what we're budgeting into the next year.
Next year.
And it's kind of
Is
pricey.
It's pricey.
MTA reimbursable?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Makes a giant difference come budget
Yeah.
hearing day.
But you said what kind of?
Federal transit, the city,
FTA.
it ain't coming out of the city general fund, that it's
Okay.
getting reimbursed like capital.
All of our
capital projects.
expenses are in the general fund, and come from the general fund.
Okay.
But they're reimbursed back to the general fund for the portions that, the grant will allow, and it allows up to 80% reimbursement
Okay.
on the software.
That's good.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
Speaking of budget, that moves us to the next item with the budget. We got to look at the, key performance indicators and stuff. and-
Sure. So looking at the transit goals for, 2026, I think I just shared the first one with,
Mhm.
which was that, software system. Again, having that change hands three different times makes us nervous, you know. We don't wanna lose, that program. It's been very good for us. And so, work on that. There's two others that we identified as top goals, and one's working with the chamber, to facilitate transportation for, residents participating in the pilot training program. So we wanna make sure that, I think that's coming at the end of 26, so we wanna make sure that we do our level best to, provide public transportation, you know, when we know more about what that's going to look like and what their need is going to be. We've already kind of been working and looked at the housing areas, and so we know that we currently have demand response and can serve those needs now, but as we see if there's an intensity growth for that, and we can start coming back to the commissioners, coming back to the board, see if we can, add any service in or make any adjustments to make that accommodation better. But certainly we wanna try to work and support them, so that's gonna be part of our initiative next year. And then, we talked about a little bit ago, the adjusting of the timing of the fixed routes, try to start them 30 minutes earlier. And we'll know more about that when the CNG thing is done. That is actually slated, it's 210 days for construction, which puts us off until April of next year before it can be completed. But I think it's probably gonna be completed much sooner than that. So, once we get that done and we realize those time savings, perhaps we can make that trade of time savings and start the routes earlier. But that's gonna be a goal of ours next year in 2026 as well.
Yeah, I liked all the goals.
All the goals.
I thought they were great. I noticed, there with our, the cost per ridership has creeped up a little on us over the years. And I know there's nothing we can do about most of it, the costs of
Right.
capital things and the cost of labor are what they are. The main thing we can do to get that number down is to get ridership up.
That's.
We can't do much about cutting costs, and we can't really do much about increasing revenue. But we can, how many people we're averaging that amongst, everything we can do, that'll help drop that number some. And that will help
Right. And our ridership.
doing budget hearings too, when that number is down.
And our
It's
ridership
good.
now is 91% of what it was pre-COVID, which, nationwide is 81%. So across all transit agencies, and some vary, some more, some less, but I feel like, having the larger buses come in at the time where COVID was here and, people had some, reservations about getting on a bus with a lot of people. Having that room to stretch ridership reducing so much where it would be similar to what the nation's is, 81%. So we're almost back to exactly where we were in 2019, which, you know, we had people sitting on the floors of the white buses, and we had to get something bigger. And I think it's a much more comfortable ride now, and it's much better for passengers with disabilities. We have 3 wheelchair stations now in each of the buses. They're low floor.
It's so much easier to use
Oh,
those
yeah.
stations too. You don't have to have the driver assistance. You can do it
Right.
all yourself. Just roll right on, just the same as you walked on it.
And we can stop on the avenue now. It's much safer, deploying the ramp as opposed to a lift. So a lot of benefits for the larger buses. And is there any other questions that you had on the budget goals?
Something, I know there's not a lot of way we can track, but it might be useful, if, probably not for this year, we can get stats for this year, but maybe in the future, to show in our KPIs who we're serving, like, especially some, like, stats about seniors, like how many seniors we're serving and disabled we're serving, because, you know, when it comes budget time, that we're doing something for these these groups that, you know,
Yeah.
could be a priority to show that we're serving these,
Right.
cause I've heard talk at the meetings about, you know, wanting to do more for seniors and wanting to do more for children, and we, especially seniors, are serving a lot of seniors. Maybe if we could include some information about how many rides are getting taken with our over 65 pass.
Life sustaining trips.
Yeah, things like that, that this isn't, you know,
Okay. I made a note of that.
it's a stat we could include that might be
Might be
inspiring.
Inspiring. Definitely put that in. That's good. Very good.
It's not for the commissioners forum. Anybody got anything?
Well, I've got one
Oh,
more
we got
thing.
one.
I'm sorry,
Come on,
another business.
come on.
First Presbyterian Church approaches and would like to donate a free ride day, and or sponsor a free ride day. And so with that, we feel like it's a good idea. We would like to ask the commission's blessing on that. And I don't know that we have a date specifically, but we know it's sometime in November.
Great.
The interested timeframe,
I love it.
Love it.
which is pretty much.
Do we need to do a motion to concur on that?
Sure.
Can we get a motion on that?
Move to,
First Presbyterian sponsor a free ride day?
free ride day.
Second.
Okay.
It's finished. Roll call, Angie.
Yes.
Melissa Woodall.
Yes.
Melissa Bixby.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Marion. 5 in favor, 0 opposed.
Does anybody have anything for the commissioners forum today? All I've got is that it was announced yesterday that the Christmas parade downtown is December 13th. Are we already planning on participating in the Christmas parade? I think it
I'm
would
sure
be
we will.
a lovely, easy opportunity to roll the bus and maybe we can.
Greg's already asked me how to modify the bus.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
Okay, we got a plan there, alright.
Yes, that is on our list, as
Okay.
well as the Veterans Day Parade is coming up, is on our list. And we also are part of the Community Connection event that's taking place on this Saturday at Darby. And we also gonna be a part of the National Night Out with the, police department on October the 7th, I believe is the day, one of those days, I can't remember. So yeah, our list is
Good
A
job.
lot going on.
pretty long.
Well, you know, it helps, even, you know, just visualizing these buses in these things is good for us, you know, even, you know, gets people thinking about the bus, talking about the bus, and like the parades, kids talk about the bus, kids notice the bus. I forget about it, cause I see it as transportation, you know, and then you see kids that are stoked about buses. I had a friend the other day who needed to learn how to ride so she could take her kid because he wanted to ride the bus desperately, like for his own amusement. All right, the citizens forum, do we have anybody who wants to speak? I'm gonna let her go first and then I'll let you go.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Caldwell. I'm the outreach manager at the Workforce Connections, Unemployment Office, Employment Services. And, I have a request for tickets. I didn't know the process of how I needed to go about asking, but we do work with a lot of clients in the area, looking for jobs. Thank you. Looking for jobs, elderly, we work with students, and some of them come in, like even from TANF upstairs, and they don't have transportation, and they come down and ask us, do we have the bus route, or do we have tickets so that they can get back and forth to where they need to go? So I was putting in a request so that maybe we could get some help for those people.
Can we do that, approve it, and then she can go through the standard process retroactively?
What?
Yeah, we work with Wapatini, we work with Adult Ed, and we have all kind of career fairs coming up, so.
Getting people to work, and that's our
How
target
many tickets do
audience.
you think you would need?
I'm not sure I don't know how many you need for a ride or.
Maybe we can
or-
pilot them with the 26, that's
Yeah.
kind of.
A pilot of 26?
Yeah, that would be great.
Cause that's very in line with our mission. Yeah, can we get a motion to approve 26 tickets?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion to approve 26. Yes, thank you.
I'll give you one of my cards.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, Melissa Woodall,
Yes.
Melissa Bixby,
Yes.
okay, Joanne,
Yes.
Miriam,
Yes.
yes, Angie, yes. 5 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, your turn.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Transit Commission, Board of Directors, and all in attendance. My name is Denise Pierre, and I am here to briefly discuss and to provide transparency on two very important issues involving Fort Smith Transit demand service. One of the issues has to do with a driver, and the other issue is a safety issue that I want to bring to light in case it already hasn't been done. On or about the week of Monday, August 25th, 2025, I spoke with Mr. Kenneth Savage via telephone regarding Cassandra, a demand bus driver. Shortly thereafter, I spoke with Gregory Carthon, Civil Rights Counselor for Fort Smith Transit, who called me to discuss issues that I have had with Cassandra, a demand bus driver. I have not heard anything from my conversations with Mr. Savage nor from Mr. Carthon. I am here today for the sake of transparency regarding actions of demand service bus driver Cassandra. On or about Monday, August 25th, 2025, at around 7:00 a.m., I received a phone call from Michael, a Fort Smith Transit dispatcher, who called me to tell me that my bus was waiting out front for me and to go outside. I let Michael, the dispatcher, know that I went out front early and that I was already outside waiting and that there was no bus waiting for me. Michael told me to hold on. Michael returned to tell me that the driver would be there to pick me up in 5 minutes. I waited 5 minutes and the bus had not arrived. I went back to my house because I needed an envelope. When I returned outside from retrieving the envelope, there was still no bus in sight. By now, over 10 minutes had passed by. I called dispatch again to request an estimated time of arrival of the bus. Just as Ms. Casey Soto answered the phone, the bus pulled up. My issue here is that bus driver Cassandra lied to Michael, the dispatcher, when she told him that she was outside in front waiting for me. I am not sure why Cassandra lied about this. Cassandra does not have the right to lie about her whereabouts for the purpose of, nor for the intention of manipulating my schedule. This is unprofessional, inappropriate, and complicit behavior on behalf of Cassandra. Also, I went back and found 4 sticky notes that I had written to myself on Monday, May 12th, 2025, as follows. Number 1, Ms. Cassandra picked me up and does not give me an opportunity to put on my seatbelt before driving off. She has done this on several occasions. Cassandra picked up the student who wears her hair in short braids from the Links apartment complex who attends Southside. Cassandra never tells her to put on her seatbelt. Cassandra picks and chooses whom she tells to put on their seatbelt, and she is inconsistent in doing this. The girl from the Links apartment complex entered the bus, sat down with her back against the window, and swung both of her feet around so that both of her feet were hanging off the side of the seat where other bus riders passed through the aisle of the bus. No one would be able to put on a seatbelt while seated in this position. It is clearly a safety hazard. Number 2, on another occasion, Ms. Cassandra, when dropping me off at Tillis Elementary, was going to drop me off on the wrong side of the street, meaning that she was going to drop me off across the street from the school and not on the side of the street where the actual school building is located physically. Number 3, on another occasion, Ms. Cassandra tried to drop me off at the student drop-off location at Park Elementary. I explained to Cassandra that all substitute teachers, all adults, and all visitors must check in at the front office of the school. Cassandra tried to persuade me that she had dropped me off at the student drop-off location before. I told Cassandra that she was incorrect and that no other Fort Smith Transit Demand Service driver had ever dropped me off at the student drop-off location, nor had ever tried to drop me off there. Anyone can call the school and confirm that everyone, except students who attend the school, must check in at the front office. This is common protocol for all of the schools in Fort Smith District. I've substituted at all of the schools except I've never been to Fairview, and I've never been to Barling because the Fort Smith Transit doesn't go to Barling, okay? Must check in at the front of the school. These are examples of the unprofessional, unacceptable ways that Cassandra has dealt with me during the tenure of my time using the Fort Smith Transit Demand Service. And I just wanted to make that known because I'm no longer going to hide in the shadows. And I've also had surgery over the summer, and so I've been kind of busy and haven't been able, that's why I was really trying to get here. Okay, so that's that. And then I wanted to talk about safety. I have some pictures for you. All right, this is safety regarding seatbelt usage on the demand service van vehicles. I'm only talking about those new vans right now. I'm not talking about the little tiny buses that are white, neither am I talking about the big blue buses, okay? The new van vehicles. Good afternoon, Transit Commission Board of Directors and all in attendance. My name is Denise Pierre, and I'm here to briefly discuss safety issues regarding the seatbelts on the demand service van vehicles. There are issues with the seatbelts not working on the van vehicles. For example, often the black strap gets bunched up and stuck inside the pillar loop and will not allow for the extension of the black strap to elongate so that a person can extend the belt around them and lock in. And I brought pictures of that to show you. That's my finger. I took pictures of those like the other day, yesterday. So you can see that, okay? There are 2 pictures, all right? I have found this issue on at least one of the seats of the 2 seats that are closest to the driver and of the 2 seats that are in the middle of the van, okay? Because when you get onto the van, you're right by the first 2 sets of seats, which are right behind the driver. then you have the middle two seats, and then you have the seat in back, which sometimes it's down, which is reasonable, because maybe they just had a patient who has a wheelchair, a person who has a wheelchair or something, or maybe they're anticipating that their next person that they pick up is gonna need a wheelchair, so you would leave it down. But if it's up, that's an invitation to me, oh, it's available, okay? But the seatbelt needs to be functioning properly, okay? The two seats that are furthest to the rear of the van are the worst. Usually both of the seatbelts are bunched up and don't function properly. On the two seats that are furthest to the rear, the forward-facing wheelchair securement is only for usage with wheelchairs. It does not buckle into the passenger seats. I have heard other passengers now, okay, talking about the seatbelts not working. Oh yeah, I've been on there when another passenger got on and made a comment to the driver about what's wrong with these seatbelts, blah, blah, blah. I just kept my mouth shut, I'm just listening. You know, I'm not gonna egg anything on, but it's time to talk about it now. This is a safety hazard that needs to be fixed, okay? I was on one of the buses today, the white bus, the one that they're not producing any longer, and on the small white buses that are no longer being produced, the seat belts are sewn into the top of the seats so they don't move. Thus, I've never had any issues with securing the seat belt on those. You know, they're on the top. I didn't make a picture of that. I wish I had taken a picture, but they're sewn right on top, so they're stationary. So they don't move, so the black belt continues to work. You know, the black strap, it works, it never fails, okay? But it's not so on the new van. And this is just, another picture that I took. And I have these on my phone, so you can keep these, and I have your email, I don't need these. So they're for you. It's a safety issue. You don't want, you know, somebody to be in the back or something if they're not working. You know, because if they stop or something, you could come out, you can fall. A lot of things they have. This is a safety hazard. Yeah.
Thank you very much for
You're
bringing that to
welcome.
our attention.
You're welcome.
Have we taken a look, because these are new, I mean, this is still gonna be under warranty, it's not like, you know, when things are falling apart.
Right.
Then, have we taken a look?
Yes, these are a newer type
Yeah.
van. These are spec'd out by RDOT, and we purchased them off the RDOT contract. Anytime there's a problem with the seat belt, anything in the bus, we have a process where the driver communicates that to the maintenance division. The maintenance division communicates what was repaired, and that's communicated back to the driver. So we do have a process for that. There may be some variations in design differences, but this is something we spec out specifically. If you recall, the large buses don't have seatbelts in them, so we have a variety of equipment. And what we ask is that, you know, if it is equipped with a seatbelt, that you use the seatbelt that's there. So if there are problems with it, then I will take a look and see if there's something we can do more to make sure that they don't get tangled.
Yeah, 'cause those are new, they should be in proper working order. You know, I know, you know, sometimes things just deteriorate, but those are new, those should be right.
So in order, to make sure that the seat belts are in order, that would require the driver to spend time checking, okay, and it would also.
And I'm understanding that in this situation, the driver asked if she could help and was refused.
That was today with Maryland, but this was the other day on one of Cassandra's buses, this was the other day on one of Miss Mary's buses, they're not working. I know with Miss Maryland, yes, that was yesterday with her bus, but it's been going on, so she's one of the later ones that came along, okay, yeah.
Does that cause problems for the drivers to have to do that extra policing instead of just?
I think they're more than willing to do that to assist the passengers.
And we train them to do so, and so they're training, and so if a passenger have a concern or a problem, that's their job to help assist with that, and they're willing to do so. And also our regular seatbelts and the wheelchair securable seatbelts are very close to each other, and they work totally different. So I know we've had some issues in the beginning where, there was some grabbing of the wrong seatbelts and of that nature. And so that was some of the issues that we occurred in the beginning, trying to do some training, make sure, that was taken care of. But I know we're looking into this matter right here and getting it fixed.
Awesome, thank you. That's it. Do we have anybody else that's got anything today? Alrighty, I think we need to just plan our next meeting.
October, November, December, correct?
Sounds right.
So pick your month and go from there?
December would get us after the budget hearings, which would probably be useful for everybody to go after, cause we'd have a real budget to, you know, to acknowledge, and they wouldn't have to be trying to prepare for a transit meeting while also preparing for a budget hearing if we went with December.
If the board were to vote on the budget, it would be either December 9th or the 23rd. That would probably change.
Oh, well,
because of the
they're not
holiday.
gonna vote to approve till January anyway, probably. But this will get us past the part where the budget is crafted and the day-long budget hearing has happened. Yeah, I'm not trying to make us wait till after approval.
The Wednesdays in December are the 3rd, the 10th, the 17th, 24th, and the 31st. which-
Yeah, not those. So the
Yeah,
first
3rd,
two
10th.
would be,
Third, maybe?
the 10th week.
We have finals week.
Okay.
Is the next one?
Okay, yeah, let's do the one that is the finals.
I'm sorry?
The third?
I'm misunderstanding.
So the third
No,
would
the
not.
10th is going to finals, isn't it? Yeah, the 10th is finals week. Some of us have to do finals.
17th, the week before Christmas?
Oh, I believe you don't.
The
The third
third?
is okay.
Okay, let's do that. That sounds good.
The 3rd?
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much.
Adjourned.
Denise, thank you for coming.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
thank you. Information helpful.